Welcome Virgos, this is your July 20th to July 26th forecast, and for you the most influential transits are going to be the new moon in Leo on July 24th and then also Venus entering Gemini on July 26th. So these transits are going to highlight your love and relationships, and you're being guided to really incorporate a playful spark and allow collaborative ideas to bloom. And as I was researching, I came across this idea to co-create love poems with a friend or a lover and just in some way weave joy into your connection. But I'm just curious, like if you do that, create a love poem with your partner, that's a really cute idea, then let us know down in the comments how that went, or give us a line or two from that so we can heart it and support you. All right, so we also have the Three of Wands here, the Four of Cups, and the Two of Wands. Okay, so there may be some plans that you do have that you're working towards, some goals that you have with your partner, and it could be about just connecting more deeply or spending more time together. And you are being guided as a part of this process to be appreciative for what you have at this time and for everything that you have worked through up until this point, because some of you may be feeling like a little bored, or you may be feeling a little bored. You may be feeling like a little, there may be some things that have happened that you're still processing and still working through. So I'm trying to figure out the way to say that. Like you may have some issues that you want to discuss or talk through with your partner, basically, is what I'm trying to say. So you may not necessarily want to skip to that part of things. You may want to kind of talk through some things first before you get to the deeper connection, loving, fun stuff. But so that may be a focus for you this week. But you also are going to have the choice here of what path you go down. So if you and your partner are open to having those constructive conversations where you're sharing both of you, your needs, your desires, your wants, and you're working together on those things, as well as you working individually and separately, then it's very possible that you can come to an agreement, a mutual agreement that's beneficial to both parties. So as we're moving toward that space of you spending more time together and being more deeply connected, we can't ignore that there may be some things that you do want to talk through with your partner here first. So I did want to just clarify that, because I'm hearing and seeing like with all the indications are like, co-create, enjoy yourself, have a great time. And, sometimes I know even like with myself that it's like, well, if I'm not really in the mood, if there's things that are going on that I want to talk about, then, that may not be the best option. So sometimes we do have to talk through things and we have to work through things and let them go before we can kind of get into that present moment and move forward. So let's look at some challenges here. So that is absolutely coming up as a challenge. So again, there may be some things that are coming to light here that you're going to be like, we need to deal with these. It's also right here as well, like there's stuff I want to talk about. There's some things that we need to work through here to get to that place, but you can absolutely get to that place. But this is about you both getting on the same page and also being emotionally fulfilled here and working through issues and resolving problems that come up with a win-win approach, with a strategy that allows you to have constructive conversations, and you share your needs, they share their needs, and you work through them and ensure that everyone's needs are getting met and the partnership's needs are getting met as well. Okay. So there is going to be a little bit of releasing burdens that needs to happen here, and that could be as a part of your conversation. You may feel comfortable to do that, or it could also be like you working on your own, which is always recommended. That's always going to allow for positive beginnings to be created as a part of that process. So it's like working individually and then also working together to resolve items and issues so you can move forward. You also have the Hangman here, so you may also benefit from gaining some introspection here. So doing your own self-care practices and allowing yourself that time to replenish your cup, to heal, and to work through any things that you may have going on. So I'm seeing that and hearing that, you know, there's personal things that you also have going on that you're working through, but then there's also things that you do want to address and work through with your partner as well. So this may be about you taking the time to delve more deeply into your issues and make yourself a priority, and filling up your cup a priority, and replenishing yourself a priority. So then that will allow for you to be more open to understanding what others excuse me, needs are, and communicating with others about things that are, you know, going to allow you to work on things together. Am I making sense there? So it's like you have your separate issues, but then you also have issues as a partnership here that are coming up here. So this is about you kind of working on those individual issues, and then also as you feel more comfortable, as you feel like your cup is replenished, working on those issues between the two of you, or 3, 4, no judgments here. So let's see, let's look at underlying issues here. So we do have the 4 of Wands, you allowing yourself to step through that portal of new beginnings. And again, this is exactly what we talked about up here, that it's like, yeah, you can, you know, not address these things. You can move on, you can forget about them. But for some of you, and especially a Virgo, I already know it's like, we need to talk about these things before we move forward, because I want to make sure that these things don't come up again, because I have particular needs. I need to understand, like, what was the issues? Is something that I did that we need to talk about? All of those things need to be brought to the forefront and addressed, because Virgo does not shy away from any. We know you clearly let everyone know what's going on and what you need from them, but there's also things you're not afraid to say, like, hey, okay, yeah, you're right, I can do this here, or I can do that there, or, you know, give you more support in these particular areas as well. So you're always open to that flexible back and forth and understanding, like, what your partner's needs are as well as your needs. So as a part of this process, if you're able to work through those things, then there's definitely a new chapter available to you to open up and to walk through, and one that is filled with abundance and prosperity as well. So we have the 4 of Swords here. Awesome. So yeah, there's a lot of rest, recuperation, relaxation, replenishing the cup here. And this may be important for you to prepare you for these conversations and for these discussions that you may want to have, and for you to also decide what you're going to do, because you have some options here and you get to decide how you're going to move forward and what that's going to look like for you. So there may be a need for you to get a little bit of rest, because this coming up as sort of like an underlying issue, if you haven't thought about this, you may be drained, you may be tired, you may need a respite here. So think about that as a part of your process. How am I feeling? Am I up to this? Do I need a little more time for me? And if you do, get those self-care practices in. Okay, let's look at your beliefs, your goals here. So we have the 9 of Cups with that emotional fulfillment. Absolutely. Like I said earlier, yeah, you are giving, you're putting that out, and it may be about the reciprocation here as far as what you're looking to get back. It may not necessarily be fully balanced here, and that may be something that you do want to talk about, you do want to work through. And this doesn't have to be a romantic situation or relationship. You can apply this to your working environment. You can apply this to your children. You can apply this, you know, to friends, whatever and however this resonates with you. Okay. What else? So You have the Ace of Wands, and you wanting to get back to what you feel passionate about here. So you want to be emotionally fulfilled. You want to just work on the things that you love doing. You want everything to be copacetic. You want everyone to be fulfilled and getting their needs met. I mean, that is wonderful. Let's look at your approach here. Okay, so Virgo, you may want to be a little calling on that emotional intelligence here as a part of this process as you're having these discussions, because we do see that there is a little contrast here coming up as you're working through these things. And you may also want to strategize here, because this could be a little bit of moving forward and not necessarily having a plan, or just at certain times just having these outbursts, emotional outbursts, or what have you. But it could just be a little bit of a disconnect happening here. So you may want to strategize. You may want to, as you're taking this time for yourself and healing yourself, you may want to journal, or you may want to think about ways that you can have constructive conversations, and you can both get on the same page and start working towards your individual needs as well as your needs together as a couple. And I know you're already working on those things, but it may be that just a deeper conversation on that can be helpful. And also, as a part of that process, you may just refine those goals, right? Because we're talking about here strategizing. So there may be a need to kind of evaluate, like, where am I? Where are you? Are we still working towards the same things? Do we still want the same things? And just working through that together. All right. So let's look at your external environment here. So you may find that there's a lot of emotions going around. So whoever this is, or whatever parties we're talking about here that you're collaborating with, you may find that they may be a little emotional here, maybe overly emotional at times. So just be mindful of that. And I know, like, in some cases it may be difficult for when someone's being overly emotional and you're trying to be a little more objective, and you're trying to analyze things, and you're trying to talk through things, and you're trying to understand things and understand, like, okay, is it something that I'm doing, or what are your specific needs here? When you're asking sort of those direct questions, it may be met with someone that may not have that emotional capacity to process things and to communicate back in an emotionally intelligent manner. So you may encounter that, you may see that. So just be aware of that. There may be a little bit of external parties that are overly emotional here. So if you're able to find a way to still be emotionally intelligent and work through that, that's going to be your best bet. Okay, so let's look at your guidance here. So we have the Five of Pentacles. So this to me means that you may not get exactly everything that it is you're desiring, and as you're working through things, you're understanding and you're learning that it is for your highest good. It is meant to prompt you, to show you what you prefer, what you don't prefer, to show you what you're open to accepting versus what's unacceptable to you. And that may be a point of opportunity for those discussions, and you'll have to process, which you won't have an issue with that. It just may be like not what you want, but you will be able to process. You're mature enough, you're strong enough, you're brave enough to handle any decisions, any positions that your partner has. You may just find yourself in a position where it's like, well, yeah, that's unacceptable to me. So now I have to figure out how I'm going to process this, what decisions I'm going to make, what my plan is. You may need to re-strategize, readjust the plan. So you may find that comes up for you. So the Empress here. So I'm also going to say here, just be open, be flexible, be adaptable, because here, you know, she looks like she's in her feelings a little bit, and that's to be expected, especially when you have differing viewpoints. Individuals have different perspectives. They're seeing things differently. They're not on the same page, and you can, you know, stay in this type of energy, or you can have a collaborative and open and flexible approach to the way that you communicate and work through your issues. So it's totally up to you and what path that you want to go down. And that is based solely on you and what you're desiring and what you're open to and what you're willing to do. Okay. I do love that Empress that's coming out here. So there may be opportunity here also for you to apply some divine feminine qualities and characteristics, such as being compassionate, being understanding, being empathetic. Excuse me. What else? So you're being guided toward transformation and change and allowing that to happen here. So as a part of that process, you have the opportunity to open up a new portal, a new chapter, and let old chapters close and end. So also, I feel like it's important to say, I'm hearing very strongly that this isn't about changing a person. This is about allowing them to be who they are, and then deciding if that's something that is acceptable to you or not, and you working through your needs with that individual. So this isn't about you working to change that person, or trying to force that person to change, or even trying to force specific outcomes, because that is where sort of these issues comes up, and you start to see like that Five of Pentacles energy happening, where it's like you're not getting what it is that you're desiring and wanting, and then you're starting to feel like you're missing out on some things, and you're losing, or you don't have this and that, as opposed to really appreciating what you do have and what is available to you. And then you also have the right and you have the free will to decide that it is enough for you or it is not enough for you, and you can make the appropriate decisions for you based on that. But allow this transformation and change to happen, because anything that goes away from you as part of this process is because it's no longer aligned with you. It's no longer providing any value to you. And it's necessary for your growth and your evolution and your progress. Okay, so this is divine intervention coming in. We also have the Star here with hope and faith. And out of this process, we know that those things that go away are opening space up for your hopes, your dreams, your desires, your abundance, your blessings to come through to you. It's like you're sweeping away like shit that doesn't matter and that's not important and that's not helpful, and you're replacing it with things that are helpful, things that do support you, things, people, organizations, community, soul family, all of that is supporting, that's unconditionally loving, that has your best interest in mind. And you're gaining knowledge and wisdom in the process as you're moving towards your fulfillment. So we also have the Five of Swords here as well. So it may be necessary to have these conversations that you've been putting off, or that you've been like starting, but then like, I don't really have the energy for this. You know, it's not going in the direction that I'm desiring. So I'm just going to let it go. But I'm going to keep trying. I'm going to keep going back, keep circling around with it and trying to start it up again. So that may be happening here. So we are seeing that come out here. Okay, so give me on that, please. So we have you being surrounded by different people with different agendas. So it may be scary, but you got this. Fight it. Wonderful. I love that, because that's really what we were saying here, as far as like you strategizing and thinking of the best approach and allowing ultimately what is not for you to dissipate, to dissolve. Because again, that's opening up the door for new opportunities, for abundance, for blessings to come to you. So we have, you will be a great success, but you will have to go through it to get there. There's lessons to be learned. Wonderful, because this is just that confirmation of those lessons that are coming up. And you design these experiences for yourself to work your way back to your authentic self as a part of this life experience. Okay? All right, so let's see. Let's get some additional guidance here. Let's see. So we have unexpected gifts, kindness, and karmic wisdom and knowledge coming through to you. So I am hearing the reminder of you connecting deeply within, utilizing your intuition, connecting with source to receive those messages from your higher self and that guidance that's going to help you process these changes and process these discussions. And again, help you to ultimately align with your path and why you came here. You will find a way. I love that. Allow that light to shine. What else? So we have healing. Wonderful, because I don't think we actually said those words here, but this is a part of your journey here, and you have the opportunity to heal, and you allowing that new cycle to open and allowing yourself to let go of the past or things, again, that aren't serving is a part of this healing process, allowing you to work back to the whole, complete energy that you are. Powerful source that you are. All right, Virgo. So thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful week.